It's been, it's been a dream come true just to go through the whole process. If nothing happens from this, uh, which I hope it does, but if it doesn't, this is what I've been able to gain from it: a lifetime memories and things like that. And it's, high school coaches, Coach Flem always says, and you hear every high school coach say this: you want to leave it all out on the field. And I had an opportunity not to go and submit my MP3 this weekend. That was an option they gave me, but that wouldn't be me leaving it all on the field. And so that's just what I want to do, is just leave it all on the field, and whatever happens happens. And I'm happy I'm happy that I've done it, and I have no regrets of how I did it. And we'll see what happens. But it's been a whirlwind tour, I guess you could say. It's been exciting. It really has, and I got to share it with my wife, the whole experience, which is really cool too.
It's a big commitment, financially, time to do something like this. When you look back that you did it, what's kind of the emotion? I mean, I got to think you're pretty happy you stepped out of the box and went for it.
Yeah, I am. I mean, we talked obviously before about Joey Votto stepping outside the box of his comfort zone. This certainly was outside my comfort zone. I'm a Cincinnati guy through and through, and to step outside of that and to go the first time going to San Diego by myself, having never been by myself across, barely across Indiana state lines, and to go ahead and to travel and across the country by myself, and to do this and not know anybody, and then eventually making some good friends out there while I've been out there. And I've been able to grow personally through this process, and it's been a lot of fun.
Nervous when you stepped in front of the mic to give your audition?
I don't think I was nervous until I actually stepped right into the booth, and I put the headset on, which I've done a million times, and I look to the left, and there's producers, and there's in fact the Fox people were there, Fox Sports San Diego, and I put the headset on, and then I looked to my right, and there's Petco Park. I'm thinking, and then I look just above that on the jumbotron, and there's my photo, or the video of it, and that's when it hit me that it was real, and I got a little bit nervous, but it was a dream. And then afterwards, they pulled each one of us aside, and Fox Sports San Diego interviewed each one of us, and they'll put that on during one of one of their programs during spring training. So, that was neat. Them asking me why I did this, similar questions. Why did I come from Cincinnati to do this? Why, what makes me, I had to finish a sentence. I would be great as the next public address announcer for the San Diego Padres. Why? And I had to give my answer. And I know your next question is, what was your answer? But my answer was because Joe Zurusing is a guy I like to model myself, a class act, the best in the business. But what Joe does really well, and what I think I could do as well too, is not just be the mic or the voice behind the microphone, but also be somebody that can connect with the fans. It's easier said than done, but to be able to have that opportunity to connect with Padre fans, or connect with, as Joe does, with Reds fans, to be that vehicle between the fans and the ball club or the organization, that's a pretty special component that I don't think everybody can bring to the table. And I think my voice is not, I've said it before, my voice is not something you're going to, wow. But what I think I have is the ability to connect with fans and to bring those two groups together, a baseball organization and fans, and bring them together and make the fans, because without the fans, Joe, the baseball team is nothing. So I think I'm able to bring those two together, nicely married, and have an okay voice, and go from there.
You have more than okay voice. Great voice. Give me an idea of what's next, because it was down to 20, and so
Yeah.
do they narrow it down more, and how do they decide? Is it fans decide? Is it organization?
That's been a little bit frustrating for me, because the Padres have played this, the front office has played this fairly close to the cuff. Originally, they were saying that fans were going to be allowed to vote, which I still think they can, but they never, we kind of all assumed, all 20 participants, that they were going to be able to vote at FanFest. So, each one of us kind of had our sections of people all ready to go, and we were ready to pull the trigger. And then it turns out that, in fact, that it was not something that would be done on that day.
Okay.
So we don't know. We don't know when it's going to be done or how it's going to be done. It's the toughest part, is just sitting around and waiting.
Have they given you an idea of how long you might be waiting?
Yeah, they told me last night. I sent them a message on Twitter, direct message, and they responded with, "We'll have the next steps in the process this week." So whatever that means. That next process might be me sitting at home calling Lancer games in the postseason. I don't know, but we'll find out.
Your family willing to pick up and move to the West Coast just like that?
Yeah, my wife's been great. I mean, she's been she's ready to roll. Now that she's been out there, she has no problem with it because of all the weather you guys have gotten back here. We had 75 degrees and sunny, so if there was any hesitation prior to this trip, no more, because it's beautiful out there. It really is.
What would it mean to you to be the voice of the Padres?
It'd be incredible. I mean, Joe, I've known you for a long time, and I've always admired what you do, being able to follow sports, and I love baseball. Baseball is my sport through and through. I played a little bit collegiately up at Ohio Northern and at LaSalle, and I just love baseball. I just love what it stands for. I love for it just connects with just your average person like no other sport does, and to be able to tell the stories of these athletes, to tell the story of the game behind a microphone, be it on a public address or in any facet, to be able to tell the story behind the players and behind the game would be just simply amazing to me.
You said no regrets. You mean that genuinely?
I do. I have no regrets. I mean, for one, it's not a bad place to go in the winter, so that's not a bad thing. Financially, I took a hit. I had to pay for these things myself, but I have no regrets. It's been an incredible ride. Just to walk around. The first time I was there, I was in center field, and it was 11 o'clock at night. And the ballpark, they were prepping for the tennis tournament. And so they had it all lit up. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I just walked around the perimeter of the ballpark. And in center field, they have Park in the Park, which is a big open forum for fans to watch. And I remember just sitting down and looking into the ballpark. And for that moment, in my mind, I was a part of the Padres organization, and it was like a dream. It was like, this is really an opportunity I have, and whether it comes true or not at that moment, I was living the dream of somebody involved with a Major League Baseball franchise, and it was pretty special.